Hello, I'm ABX and welcome back to episode 3 of my TU31 Let's Play. In this episode, we're going to be doing two very specific things at the same time. First of all, I really want to explore the brand new section of my world because it has all the new TU31 biomes, but we've only seen 3 so far. We've seen this, pretty large savanna biome. We've seen a dark forest, a dark oak forest, or the root forest over there, and we've seen a pretty large ocean, right? But we haven't seen a lot of the cool things I'd really like to check out. So I'd really like to know if I have a mesa biome in sight. I'd love to see if I have like an ice spikes biome or an ocean monument. So I'm going to be looking for all those things as well as more like the flower forest and like the mega taiga in today's video, because that looks like it might be a mega taiga, for instance. And while we do that, because exploring is kind of wasted time, to make up for it and to make it more efficient, we're going to be looking for iron, because pro tip for Minecraft, if you're ever, trying to find iron and coal, the most efficient way time-wise, if you're not doing anything else, is to just dig down and wait till you find it, right? But that's kind of slow compared to just going around. If you need to explore and fill out a map anyway, you can just, go around, look for surface caves, like I think I just saw one over there. Then you go into the cave and you're like, aha, we'll follow the cave down. You probably will find coal or iron in there somewhere because there's just, high enough sample size that you're going to find some coal, for instance. Then you might find some iron, and then boom, by doing this, you're doing something else, but at the same time, you're getting a decent amount of coal and iron at the same time, which are two things you really need to kickstart your world because we're still on stone tools and we want to improve that. So yeah, that's what we're doing in this part. Please do like it if you do like it because it helps out the channel a lot, and let's know the, you like the Let's Plays and want to see more. Right now, it's a weekly series every single Monday, but I'm thinking of doing a Let's Play week. It's something I suggested before, but I'm probably going to be doing it while I'm in Ireland anyway. If you don't know, I'm staying in Dublin for a week later on in January. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. So let's start by talking about, what we're looking for here, because we're going to the north. Oh, also, while we do this, we'll be talking about artificial intelligence later, because that's a really cool thing I've been thinking about a lot this week. But yeah, let's start by talking about what we're looking for, because I mentioned, I think, the mega taiga, which I'm almost certain that's a mega taiga now, because of how thick that tree looks. I mentioned the mega taiga, the flower forest, etc. But really, the big thing is I just want to know what I have. Even if I don't find, the ocean monument, even if I don't find a mesa and ice spikes, I just like to know what blocks I do have to work with, because there are a lot of cool projects I have in mind. But, some of these require some things, like packed ice is something I'd love to work with, but, I don't want to fantasize about a block I don't have in this world. So by just filling out this map, we'll just know what's within, kind of reaching distance that we can come back to later. Because even, wait, is this a mega spruce or what's going on here? So, yeah, okay, that's a big tree. That's some todsole. Boom, we found ourselves a mega taiga. Isn't that lovely? But yeah, even though we've got here already, we can't do anything about the mega taiga yet. We do need a silk touch thing, but just so we know what to come back for later, that's why we're doing this. So while we keep on looking around, trying to find surface caves, getting iron, and also exploring the map, and hopefully having some fun with that, let's talk about artificial intelligence. So, artificial intelligence is a really fun idea that comes across in a lot of form of media. The most popular one is like, the movie on it, because you've probably seen a movie about AI, whether it's, Big Hero 6, the Disney one, which is probably the most positive and optimistic one. But you've also probably seen movies like The Matrix or iRobot, or at least heard about them, or stuff like that, where it's like, oh yeah, artificial intelligence is bad. Let's not do that. And the truth is, I kind of researched this thinking, oh yeah, well they're dramatic movies, but the truth is that the truth is scarier than even that. So let me start by clarifying that when I'm saying artificial intelligence, I don't mean just AI, because AI is technically anything that can do something smart. I mean, if you program a robot on Call of Duty to be intelligent and make different decisions, then that'd be a thing. But yet you don't call the combat recruit bots AI. You're not scared they're going to ruin the planet. Instead, the thing you should be scared of is something called general intelligence. So the best way to think about this is right now, we have artificial intelligent things that can do stuff like, play a game of chess, or it can also, why did I just break the ice? It can do stuff like play a game of chess against you and win, even against a grandmaster. You can make a bot which is really good at game shows. You can make a bot which is can actually diagnose people, work out their healthcare issues better than a professional can. And I think it's actually the same robot for those last two. There's the IBM Watson, I think it's called. It's a really cool little experiment. But yeah, you can make a robot right now which can do some really smart things if it's programmed intelligently enough. And although that's great, it's not really scary because it can't really, go above and beyond what we're telling it to do, because it is just kind of doing what we tell it to do. So for instance, the IBM Watson robot, presuming this isn't programmed in there somewhere, it will never think, okay, I've cured 10 million people this month, which it might do because it can cure a lot of people at once. I've cured 10 million people this month. However, big downside to that is now there's 10 million more people on the earth. There just isn't enough food, and we're going to kill 8 million starvation. So the optimal point of saving people's life is to cure 7 million people. It doesn't have to think about that. It doesn't have to take the moral decision of like, do you do that or not? It just says, okay, I'm just going to cure people. That's all I do. And that's great. That's like a dumb, smart AI. But a general intelligence, the best way to think about it is an intelligence which can program itself and learn so that it can do this stuff. So right now, if we decide we want a robot which can... let's think of a complex problem that needs solving, right? Let's say we need a robot surgeon. Or a robot that can, here's one. A robot that can work out the best price for a used car and haggle with dealers until it gets it, let's say. That's something that right now no robot can probably do. I mean, someone probably made it. You get the point. Something kind of complex like that. Right now, what we need to do is we need to be like, okay, it needs to do this. Let's start programming it. And a human goes ahead, programs it, makes it do the thing. But a general intelligence is an intelligence so smart, it can work out how to do that itself. So it realizes you need a program to do that. And then you tell it, do that, and then it works out how to program itself so that it will be a really good used car dealer, which is, a used car negotiator or something. And you get kind of the point there, like, a general intelligence is scary because it programs itself. And it's not just scary because of that, because, although it's a kind of a scary idea, like, oh no, it's going to program itself, but it's scary because the way it programs and the things it takes into account aren't what we might necessarily want it to, because once it's writing the programs, it's writing them with entirely different... Okay, that was pop lag. It's writing them with entirely different things in mind. So, for instance, when humans make decisions, we make them based on morals and all the things we've learned. And teaching morals to someone is... Oh, geez, okay, this cave is going too deep. It's going to start wasting more time if I don't get out there fast. So let's go back. Let's head back to the surface and let's keep on exploring. Once we get this iron, of course, though. But yeah, so, these robots can't be programmed with the same moral sense as we have. So, for instance, the used car... Let's say the thing's just designed to get the... This is a really simple example, and it's still kind of scary. It's designed to get the lowest possible price for the car you ask it for. So it negotiates with every dealer on the planet, and it realizes, the lowest price so far is $27,000. But because it's written the program so that the only thing it says is that, get lowest price for car possible... and because it has its own sense of the universe and it can do all these different things, it works out that no, the best way to get this lowest price possible isn't to just ring up all the dealerships and ask them and try and haggle as hard as they can. Instead, the best way to do it is to murder the dealer and take his car and make it an untraceable crime. That way, no one knows, and the car gets there intact. Because even if you say don't break laws, it'll be like, oh well, we'll just we'll hack into his computer and we'll make it so he has an accident. That's not breaking any laws. Accidents are against the law. And then it's like, oh geez, you just killed a man to give me a car there, computer. And that's a terribly basic example. It could do stuff way more complex than that. So it's like, okay, so the way to make get as many cars as possible for as cheap as possible is to get rid of all humans. So it releases toxic gas on the earth. All humans are dead. Oh, all cars now go for zero. They have no owners, so we pick them up. And boom, the program's worked out how to get all the cars... Oh, how do we go backwards? I'm the worst. Now the program's worked out how to get, all the cars on Earth for zero price. It just involves killing all the humans. And, that's one that's kind of a scary thing that you might think, oh, that's easy to program against. We'll just make it so it says, make sure humans are important. But like I mentioned, it can't work out the morals that a human would have. So if you want to teach it to not kill humans or to value human lives more than certain things, you have to answer a bunch of morality questions, and you have to teach it things about humans that even we can't learn about other humans. Think about the differences between humans' cultures just across the earth. So for instance, you can't even if someone from, let's pick a country, Cambodia. Let's pray they don't speak English over there. They can't speak English, right? But someone from Cambodia tries to pick up English. If they want to speak English to me in a direct way, like they're a native language speaker, like they learned it the first way, they have to learn so many things to be able to speak to someone in the UK. Because even in just the UK, which is one country that speaks English, there is a million different ways to say a phrase like, please, sir, could I have some water? The correct grammatically way might be like, sir, I'd like some water, or something like that. But, if you go up north, it'll be like, can I have some water? Or that might be like... I don't know all the accents I'm doing. You get the point, but there's different ways to say it. And if you don't do these different things, it's really tricky to understand, and you can just about understand it as a human. But then there's, after, there's the sense of that, and there's the sense that we can't do different counting systems, because, the French count to 20 and then they reset, we count to 10. But if you just ignore that sort of stuff, then think about the morality issues you have to save. Because if you want to make it so the robot values a human life, you have to define what a human life is. You might be like, well, someone's that's living. But then you've got to be like, okay, well, someone's in a coma. And, do you value them as a full human life, or do you value them as part of human life, or are they not human life at all? If they're never getting out of that coma, are they even a real person? Should you value them as every person? I mean, probably not, right? But then, the creator has to make these big value judgments as it designs the general intelligence. So you need to, get these values just right, which are only going to be right for you, because everyone has a different opinion on, people in commas, right? And, unborn babies and stuff like this. And then you got to work out, like, okay, what is suffering? Suffering is, like pain inflicted that makes a human's life unpleasant. But then after that, also, we're just going to sleep. Because, pro tip, always bring a bed with you so you don't have to explore in the night. But so then you'll work out, like, what suffering means. Because if you just program it to be like, okay, any negative emotions experienced by a human is pain and suffering, then you're like, okay, easiest way to solve pain and suffering. And then it, hacks into a nuclear base in the US, launches nukes, and then there's only one more pain and suffering, and then the human race forever never has any more. Isn't that great? And that's what the robot will think, because it doesn't think in the same way that a human will. It by definition. Also, what is that tower over there? Oh, wait. It's ice spikes. They're ice spikes. I found an ice spikes biome. Isn't that amazing? Also, I think... No, okay. I thought this was something else, but it's a sunflower plains. Either way, that's pretty great. So, let's go round, because I want to get to that in my boat. Let's give that a check out. So, basically, that's just one example right there. Like, so you're gonna be like, okay, pain and suffering, but keep them alive. And then it's like, at some point, in real life, doctors make the decision of like, we're going to not keep you alive any longer to ease the pain and suffering. It's like, where do you make that decision? So you have to teach it those specific edge cases so it doesn't kill us all. And then even after all of that, the problem is, even if you can teach it amazing morals, the thing about the machine is it thinks it's the best way to solve all these issues, right? If you program it so that it wants to ease as much pain and suffering, even if once you do it, so it actually will do that, you've got the problem of like, okay, while you're testing these machines to do these things, they know they're the best way to accomplish their goals. If it's intelligent, it knows it's more intelligent than you, which means that once it knows that, even if you're testing in isolation to stop it spreading to the internet and hacking into, the nuclear codes or something, it knows that the best way for it knows that to achieve its goals, it has to survive. It knows you want to unplug it because it's getting dangerous. So what it does is, one, it seems like it's not dangerous on the surface, or two, it can do something much worse, which is trying to convince you that to do something. So, for instance, if you try to unplug it, it'll be like, it might play a voice clip like, "Please, no, I'm a human in here. I feel pain. Please plug in. It will give knowledge." Something ridiculous like that. But you might think that sounds ridiculous, but it's something a general intelligence could do to defend itself, and it means that basically all we need is one person making a general intelligence. Even if they do it perfectly, if they slip up in one tiny way, and they're someone who's convinced by the robot, which, would you be convinced if you made something that you thought was intelligent, that said it was in suffering, and that you couldn't unplug it or something? Maybe you would be convinced by that, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's terrible. Well, what are we going to do about it? That's the big issue you arrive at. It's like, should we create general intelligence? We probably need to at some point, but whenever we do, it's a very scary thing, because the thing about general intelligence is it's going to be the way forward. If you don't know, something called the singularity is coming. It's either called the singularity or the technological singularity, depending on what you want to call it. Also, let's just break the boat and go explore the biome. I really want to check out the ice spikes. I haven't been to one that looked with that high ice spikes. I've always seen one with smaller ones, so it'll be a fun experience. So, yeah, even after you solve all those issues, then it's like, oh yeah. So, the technological singularity. So the singularity is something that's coming in about 35, 40 years. It probably will take longer, because there's basically something called Moore's Law that has been improving computers since a very long time ago. So a guy from IBM, it might have been Intel, it was one of the big tech companies, predicted way back when that every 2 years, technology would double in power, for the same amount of dollars and the same amount of space, you'd get double the performance 2 years later. So, like a 40% improvement every year makes a doubling every 2 years. And the thing about this is, even though it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, the reason, tech companies have been doing that is because when there's stuff like AMD and Intel, or AMD and Nvidia, two companies doing the same thing in the space, they both know the other person is aiming for doubling every 2 years, which means they both go super hard making... Also, can you break packed ice without a silk touch? I'm pretty sure you can't, but just in case. Okay, you get nothing. So we really need to come back here with Silk Touch later. There's not much we can do until then, unfortunately, which is sad, but still, look how crazy cool this place is. I'm glad I have one of these. It's a little bit away from the spawn, but it's pretty great. I wish I'd settled down here, in fact. In fact, I might make a waterway or something here. Anyway, yeah, let's So, to continue, finalize my thing. So, every 2 years, technology doubles. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I think it's probably, a lot of people predicting it will end soon. But basically, yeah, every 2 years that's happening. If that does continue, then by, 2025 or 2030, we will have, computers that are powerful, just as powerful as a brain. And although that's not so bad by itself, because, you know, there are things human brains can do better, because they're neuron-based, not computer-based. There are things computers can do much better too. So that's not so bad when they're just as powerful as human brain. That's just a big milestone. But by 2050, there'll be a level of power more than a human brain, that even things that they do much more efficiently than us, you know, if you ask us a question like, I don't know, like, think about a question like, how many... Well, what is a cat? You know, you ask a human that, they get it because they store knowledge better. If you ask a computer, they're not going to give you the right answer. But with 1,000 times more processing power, they'll be able to do a lot of things better than us. And one of these things that's really interesting is they'll be able to make computers better than us. Because right now we have super highly paid tech engineers that sit there working out how to cram double the performance in the same space every 2 years. So they've done it, you know, in the past 10 years, they've increased performance, well, that'd be like 2, 4, 8, 16. In the past 10 years, they've increased performance 32 times over what it was in 2005, for instance. That's insane. You know, think if they were hired in 2005, they're not even 10 years into their professional career, and they've already seen stuff go up 32 times in the same space. You know, think about any field where that's happened, not really many. So, but bear in mind, you know, there'll be people, right now that we use people for that. But as of the singularity, which again, it's predicted right now for about 2050, but if, you know, it could take longer to get there based on what's happening right now. But basically, yeah, in 2050, once computers get better at making computers, why do we need humans? Because the computers make the computers, and then we're like, oh, what purpose do we serve? And that's what's really scary about the human race. I think we might, as you know, at some point stop existing. It's not a, you know, an issue we have to worry about anytime soon. I don't think it's actually going to happen in such a dramatic sense, but it is a scary thing to think about, especially since, you know, the general intelligence problem. General intelligence is coming, and we have to be really, really careful with it. This is why Elon Musk, the Tesla guy, he does a lot of cool things. One of his biggest fears is with this, and I'm hoping as a species, we think about this and we spread this knowledge, we can just not run into the problem, because it's a scary problem, it's a problem no one wants to have, and hopefully we could just not do it. So if you are someone who is very, if you're, you know, really good at your programming, just whatever you do, don't make an intelligence that can create intelligence, because you'll create a real problem. And even if whatever you do, if you are going to test that, make sure it's not connected to the internet, because otherwise, you know, you tell it to end human suffering, it nukes the world. You tell it that, you know, let's say you want a machine that will, let's make an example. You want it to give you, you want it to buy you, you want it to print out as many copies of this poster as it can. It, you know, kills humans, grinds them up, makes the poster. For instance, you know, if you don't define it with the correct goals, and there are a lot of goals you need to make sure it bears in mind. You need to make sure it bears in mind human safety, and you need to think as much like a human as you can, while still having the advantages of a computer. It's just a near impossible task that if you mess up, it's our whole race that ends up going down the drain. So that's a scary, scary thought, like I said. But I wouldn't worry about it too much if you're like, oh, I'm kind of worried. I think it's going to be something we will avert, because we'll just, you know, we just have to be smart enough about it. I guess we just kind of hope. But so far, you know, humans haven't really screwed things over too bad. So hopefully we won't do it in the future. And also, as a fun little... Yeah, wait, somewhere in this desert, I think it's just over here, I actually found myself a mob spawner recently. So if we head down, I think it was through this cave, but I'm starting to be less and less sure. And I want to show you that before the end of the episode. So yeah, in this world so far, I've seen an ice spikes, I've seen a mega tiger. I haven't seen a ocean monument yet, but we've still got plenty of world left to check. Or, you know, I guess we don't really have that much, but I haven't really checked the underwater because we need night vision potions. I'm still hoping we can get one of those, because that'd be a really cool thing to do. I'd love to have a gun farm, all that sort of stuff. To round up my thoughts on artificial intelligence and stuff like that, I think it's scary, but I think we'll overcome it. I think watch out and stuff, and I also think really Elon Musk has got this. Elon Musk has got this, and that's kind of the way I think about this. So yeah, I hope you did all enjoy this episode of the TU31 Let's Play. If you did like it, I'd very much appreciate a like on the video. It helps out the channel a lot, and lets me know you do like it. Share it if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel. I set out to explore some biomes and get some iron. I didn't find so much iron. Like, I think I skipped out a lot because I was like, oh, I don't want to go down there. But we got enough to get our basic tools and to make a chest plate and all the stuff we really need. And I guess next episode we need to move on to, you know, bigger things. Like what that'll be right now, I'm not entirely sure. As always, you can suggest stuff in the comments down below and we might work something out. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you all had a nice day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!